that I was telling you about for playing with type. So a couple of things that you have to remember is that you have to create a document that is 10 by 10. So let's go over to Illustrator. So when you open up Illustrator, you'll get this option right here. You may have something else. You may have default to pixels. If that's the case, you can just scroll down, change this to inches, 10 width, 10 height. You don't have to worry about anything else here, and just go ahead and select create. Okay, there it is. So now that you have this, what you want to do, you want to take your type tool, and you don't want to create a box. You can illustrate it, you can go like this. You can click and hold and drag, and it'll put a box with text. I'm going to undo that, Command Z. I'm just going to go ahead and click on it because I don't like I like having the flexibility of not being in a box. So I'm just going to go ahead and put one click. So again, if you don't know what that is, on your tools here, make sure you go to the little T, click on the T, and select, just put in the cursor anywhere here so you can place your word. So I'm gonna do, let's see, I'm gonna do the word fire. I'm gonna do it all caps. Fire. Okay, so this is the default font. Now, at the very top, you have your window. If you do not see your type character there, these are panels. Okay, so this is your working area, and then these are all panels. You can go up to the top and select Window, create type, and select character or Command T. This will open up the type panel. This Myriad Pro in here is the default font, which I'm not going to use that. I'm going to take my magnifying glass. I'm going to zoom in here. Okay, I'm going to go back to my selection tool, and then I'm going to go over here to the character panel. I'm going to click on here, and I'm just going to go ahead and look down for something that may or may not work. How about that? Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and just move it right at the edge of that. You see what I'm doing? Now, I have the flexibility of moving because I don't have my snaps on. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, if you go up to View, Guides, here it says Snap to Grid, Snap to Pixel. These two are turned off for me, and the way you turn them off is just by unselecting, selecting or deselecting that option. So make sure your Snap to Grid is not on, so you can move this. Otherwise, when you move this around, it will snap into place. So you want to go ahead and find it and place it where you think you want it. So right now I place it all the way up here. Now you don't have to, you can, I'm gonna go back to my type tool, selected, select Command C or Edit, copy, and then I'm gonna go here and put a space, space over. So this is one option. I'm gonna close my panel. You can close it right here. But this is one option, and then if you do the magnifying glass, you hold the option key down. You can zoom out. So here's where I am with this right now. So I'm gonna go here, put a space, 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 spaced. And let's see, I'm gonna center it. So this is, you can tell this is a little too small. So obviously you don't want to do it this small. So I'm gonna go back to my type character. Again, if you can't find it on, if you can find it on here, go to window type character and it opens it back up. Obviously this is too small, so probably I was gonna take it like a, maybe like a 36. So obviously your placement is off, so you're gonna have to fix that. So I'm gonna select one with my type tool, copy, paste, oops, there's no space here. And maybe I want this to align pretty close, so maybe I just increase this to like 37.25 or 37 point. There we go. And then what I do with my second line, you can select the line with your selection tool, do edit, copy, and you can do paste in front, paste in back, paste in place. I like to do paste in place because it's going to be right on top of this one, and all I have to do is just scroll down. So I'm going to do paste in place, and then I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to see, okay, how is it looking? Do I need to open it up? Do I need to maybe give it a hairline? Do I need to bring it together? Okay, so this is one way to do it, okay? Let me show you a different way to do it. Okay, so let's see that the next, I'm gonna select my type tool, click away from here, and I'm gonna use the word, let's see, Lovert, creative, okay? Then I'm going to, let's see, find a font that I think would work okay. And this time, for some reason, I feel like for this situation, something kind of thin would work well. Okay. So then you have this word, and you know the example on that I showed you, it had a word facing the right direction, and then there was a flip, facing the right direction, flip, facing the right direction. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here. Okay, so here's your word, right? So like I'm going to place it at the beginning where I think it should go. And then I'm going to do copy, paste and place. And then I'm going to bring it out here. Obviously right now it looks exactly the same. But what I'm going to do now, as I am selecting, I'm going to select this word, go to object, and then you are going to do object transform, and then you're going to do reflect. Okay, and this is what that does. It just flips it over for you. So then I want to line it up with that E, so I can create that shape. So then what I do, I come in here with my selection tool, the black arrow, and I drag it across all the word, and then I do copy or edit C, edit copy or command C, and I do paste in place again. Okay, and the reason again why I like that is because I don't have to mess with the alignment. And I come over here, And maybe I want to get creative with the C's over here. Now I know I do option. Okay, so maybe I want to get creative with the C's over here. So I kind of like that, what's happening right there. But I want to go ahead and make it a little bit bigger so I can fill the entire space, because otherwise it's going to be, not all of it is going to show up over here, right? So maybe I come in here and I do my window type character, and I come in here and I go, let's see, 45. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me undo this. So I have it there. Okay. This is really cool too. You see where as I'm playing with this, I'm like, ooh, that's neat. But you can, maybe that's cool. Maybe, okay, so maybe that's one. Copy, paste in place. And then, okay, well maybe I'll let it run up a little bit. So I can have double square here, double C's, and then that double square. So then all I need to do, so I'm going to select this, but I am going to bring this over to the left a little bit. So this space right here is a little tighter. There we go. So now I'm going to take this whole line and I'm going to do edit, copy, paste in place. And then I can do, okay, do I want to make them together or do I want to separate them? So that's another thing that you decide, based on what pattern you want to create, right? So see how as I'm pushing this up with the arrows on the keyboard, I'm like, well, maybe I want to do that because it creates a cool pattern. So now I do copy, paste in place, and then I come down here, and then I do the same thing. Make sure it lines up properly. And then I come out here again, and I do copy, paste in place. So you can tell I keep selecting. Copy, paste in place, and I scroll down, and you can see how the pattern let me go ahead and select and move this out of the way, and then bring this up, and I want it to be, the gray is on the outside of your size of the document, so I want to bring it right up to the edge like that. And now I'm going to, so let's see, I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to select like 6 rows of this. Copy, paste in place, and then I'm going to bring this down. Right there. So now I'm going to option out and zoom out and do Command 0 to center it. So now you can see how this is a lot more interesting than just putting the words like fire all the way across that we had, right? And then you can create a cool pattern with something like this, but a lot of times flipping the words and and reflecting on the words, it just gives you a little bit more of an interesting pattern. I mean, if I really wanted to get technical with this, if we could just select this whole thing, and then, by the way, if you need rulers in here, you can do Command R, and you bring up your rulers. And so here, if I wanted to align this, I could bring this. When you select this whole thing, it automatically puts a box on it, and it brings, one big box. And you see the point here at the center. So I'm going to bring it and line it up to the 5. So here it is, lining up with the 5. So now, even though the C's are off here, you don't see the C's here, you only see the C's here. It's still working because it's kind of cool. It helps that symmetry. So I hope that you guys, this is kind of like what I want you to do. It's like, usually when I get started with an example, I don't usually know what I'm doing sometimes, because I want you to explore the creative process with me and see how you can create a pattern. Like, look, we created a pattern here together. Basically, by choosing this font and by choosing this font, by choosing some kind of a thin font, and it was an all caps. But it just turned out to be really cool, right? It created a really cool pattern. So this is what I want for you as well. So anyhow, as you can see, it's not complicated to use Illustrator. It's pretty easy. And basically the tools that you need for this are very basic. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'm happy to answer any of this for you, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do. Thank you so much. Bye.